Testing 1, 2, testing. Testing 1, 2, testing. Testing 1, 2, testing. Testing 1, 2. Welcome. Just my opinion. Big J Live coming to you from Plainfield, Illinois. Talk about the NBA games last night.
Past the castle as he gets two.
Testing 1, 2. Testing. Testing 1, 2. Testing. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Testing. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. All right, okay. Last night's games we had the Blazers playing the Spurs. Blazers playing You had the Bucks playing the Jazz, and also you had the Bulls and the Minnesota Timberwolves. But before we get into that, last time I was on to ask the question, are the Lakers for real? Well, I think we have the answer. In my view, the answer is no. I thought they were. First 3 games, they ended up being 3-0. They came out looking like a different team. Looked like the offense was different under JJ Redick. They seemed to be moving the ball. Now the thing I differ with a lot of people, even though they were raving about Anthony Davis and the way he was playing, because averaging over 30 points a game, over 10 rebounds. He was doing a double-double. But even when he was scoring a lot, to me, he was still missing too many of those in close little chippy at the rim buckets. I mean, he just seems to not be able to do any little jump hooks or floaters or. I mean, I compare it to Joker, how the Joker can back down and go either left or right, either hand, with a little jump hook shot and score over people. And I just don't see Anthony Davis doing that, and I'm surprised. I thought he had that in his game. The other thing to me about the Lakers is every team, it seems like every team's bench players or people who never even get to play, they're better than the Lakers bench players who never get to play. I mean, I've seen them put anybody in. When the game is out of hand, they'll put the scrubs in. And the other team's scrubs are always better than the Lakers' scrubs. And I just find that fascinating. The other team sends in their bench, and those guys come in shooting threes and breaking people down off the dribble. And it seems like the Lakers don't have that. It's just amazing. People talk about how LeBron has had better teammates. They compare him to Jordan, better teammates. And I would argue the exact opposite. I think LeBron has never had the quality of teammates, perhaps with the exception of when he was in Miami, where he did have a couple of shooters, but other than that, he's never had the quality of players that, say, Golden State, and Curry had. And I mean, it's remarkable to me that LeBron even has 4 championships. And speaking of that, I guess I'm just ranting here. I don't understand why they try to devalue the so-called bubble championship. But then again, I understand. People try to diminish that because they want to diminish LeBron's legacy. And I've concluded that the reason why they want to diminish his legacy is because he's a threat to Jordan, and they want to protect, Jordan. So that's the reason, because you never see You never see any discussion of tearing down any other player as consistently as they do LeBron. And why is that? You know, Kobe at various times is talked about as being one of the best, or Magic, or Bird. You know, to me, they challenge Jordan's supremacy also. But you don't see anybody constantly tearing them down. It's only LeBron that they tear down. So to me, that has to be because he's the only one that they actually see as a threat to Jordan. There's no other explanation for it as to why he's the only one that they seem to, want to tear down. But anyway, back to the games. Bucks finally win. The Bucks were having a rough year. I think they had only won one game before last night. Finally you had Lillard and Giannis coming through both at the same time. Giannis scored 31, 16 rebounds. Lillard had 34 points. Shooting wise, Giannis was 11 of 21, so he shot 52%. Lillard was 12 for 22, 54%. So always like to look at the percentage shooting, because you can score a lot of points, but if you're not that efficient, I'm not usually not impressed with that. So, but still, even though they weren't speaking, I still, for the life of me, can't figure out how Doc Rivers keeps getting jobs. Why don't they let him go? I just don't see the Bucks going anywhere, and Doc Rivers' record really makes me question the sanity of some of these owners. What is their reasoning? I mean, look what his tenure with the Clippers, his tenure with the 76ers. What is it that they keep seeing? And now the way the Bucks have been playing, it's kind of like, to me, what do you expect? It's just pretty amazing to me. Now they play Utah. Utah, wow, they're starting five. They only had two people in double figures. Colin Sexton had 14 points. Was that? Clarkson off the bench was the high scorer for Utah with 18. But even then, he only shot 5 for 11, 45%. So, plus I don't think, let me see, Marketson played. Only had 8 points. Shot 3 for 10. That might have been his first game back, but not a very good showing for Markington, who's supposed to be, I guess, their best player. So anyway, looking at Spurs and the Blazers. Finally, the Spurs won by a decent margin. 118 to 105. Let me see. Spurs, you had Wembanyama only had 12 points, 8 rebounds. Collins off the bench, 14. Branham, I don't even know who that is. K. Johnson had 17. Branham, 17. I don't even know who those guys are. But they had 1, 2, 3, 4 guys off the bench in double figures. So apparently they didn't need a big game from Wembanyama, who shot 4 for 13. I don't know. Everybody keeps thinking at some point he's going to be the best, but I'm beginning to doubt that he's going to live up to expectations. I just don't see it. I mean, he's in his second year, and I really don't see any improvement in his game. He doesn't know how to take advantage of his size. So he doesn't know how to take advantage of his size. So I'm beginning to worry about him. Portland, who's on Portland? Jeremy Grant, 21 points. Ayton, 21 points, 21 and 10 for Portland. So Portland is not going to go anywhere. So let me see. Grant was 6 for 10. Ayton was 10 for 15. Both of them shot over 60%. But not much help other places. High man off the bench, 13 points. So, and finally you had Timberwolves against the Bulls. And of course, Timberwolves led by Anthony Edwards, 33 points. Shot 13 for 23, and you had Julius Randle, the double-double, 22 and 10, and he shot 8 for 15. And then here's the clicker. I'm going to have to watch. Rudy Gobert had 21 points, shooting 9 for 11. You're not going to see that that often. So Chicago, leading scorer was Vucevic with 25. Kobe White had 24. Off the bench, they only got 13 points from Horton Tucker. So they didn't have much help. Much help at all. So the Bulls probably were not going to go anywhere. I think it looks like the Boston is still going to be the favorite to come out of the East. I don't see them being threatened by anybody. Philadelphia, you know, the problem with Embiid, I don't think they're a threat. You know, the Knicks had a lot of hopes, but, you know, they're having to adjust to Karl Anthony Towns. That's going to be different adjustment, so I think they're probably taking a step back. Milwaukee Bucks problem, Indiana. The team to to beat, it looks like it's going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think they're still undefeated at 9-0, so I think they're the only ones that might challenge Boston. Orlando was looking pretty good until Pranchera got hurt. So that kind of was a setback for them. So it looks like they are not going to be in a challenge. So looking at the East, the top, you got Boston, you got Cleveland, and possibly Indiana, possibly. So we'll have to see. You know how that ends up. Well, look at the current standings. Cleveland is in the Eastern Conference. Cleveland is number 1, 9-0. Boston is 7-2. Indiana is 4-4. Brooklyn, Brooklyn's not going to challenge. Atlanta is not going to challenge. New York is 3-4. In 6th place, Miami, 7th place. Charlotte, Chicago. Yeah. So, yeah, it looks like Cleveland and possibly Indiana. But I don't see anybody else challenging. Now, looking at the West, you have Phoenix, 7-1, OKC 7-1, and surprisingly Golden State 7-1. And Golden State is consistent. Well, they just know how to play, no matter who's in there. Houston 5-3, Dallas. I thought Dallas was going to be a problem. They're 5-3, so they still got to adjust to Klay Thompson. Minnesota, Sacramento, no. Denver surprisingly 8th place, 5-3. And of course, LA is 4-4. Lakers, Clippers 4-4. So Utah 1-7. New Orleans was expected to make a move, but it doesn't look like they are going to go anywhere. They got a lot of injuries. So looks like it's going to be Phoenix, OKC, Golden State, and I will still put Dallas up there as the top teams to beat in the West. So that's my opinion. And that's, I guess, what we're going to have to deal with. So Well, that's all for now.